Hey, Shalom Akim, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Kal Halayim, Yahweh, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakak double honor to the elders, the great millstone. Much love and respect to you brothers out there doing the work in sincerity and truth. I just want to go into a lesson regarding the mind and how the mind, it could be your worst enemy. Okay, and you have to, just being spiritually exercised, your senses exercised, which is going to be your mind, is going to be the thing that's going to help you. The tool is what's going to be, is what's going to help you to discern between good and evil. Okay, not just judging everybody else, but judging your own self. Okay, your own thoughts, because you have many thoughts that go through the mind. All right, the cogitations of the mind. And you have to know which ones are right and wrong, which ones are malicious or detrimental to you. So you have to cast down those things. Okay, it's a daily process. It's a daily struggle. It's a daily battle. Okay, it's not just temptations with lust, with women or food. It's also against yourself and against your brother. So you have to cast down those things that are not right. Okay. So I just want to go into this Jeremiah 17:9. It says, "The heart is deceitful above all things, and desperately wicked. Who can know it?" Okay. It says the word heart here. Let's go into it, just for proof's sake. All right. The Hebrew. All right. You see there is lab. The la and the ba. Okay, and it says the outline of biblical usage. It says the inner man, the mind, the will, the heart, understanding. Okay, so where is it that in your mind you get the understanding of things? You're able to process certain information, and come to a conclusion or a judgment, is by keeping things in your mind. The process occurs in your mind, you know what I'm saying? So that's where everything is being, gathered together with information and breaking down things. It says, and I'm going to jump down to the main part. One of the main parts, it says the mind, knowledge, thinking, reflection, memory. Okay? Conscience. Okay? And then down here it says, a seat of appetites, a seat of emotions and passions, a seat of courage. Okay, so it's referring to the mind. All right, the spirit. Okay, basically, which is ultimately your mind is where you want to be spiritual, not so much carnal, based off your emotions or your passions or your appetites. Okay, you want to be a spiritual man, able to control the thoughts of your mind. And over the this past weekend, when I was out there with the brothers, the elder Ariala was going into that a little bit about having to check yourself mentally and having to watch what you think and watch what you say, basically. And one of the scriptures that I have brought out, and let me go ahead and bring it out too as well, since I'm on this, because it's a very serious thing, man. This is not a light thing to be taken, not to be taken. This is a serious thing to be taken seriously. You know what I'm saying? So because brothers could get caught in that snare of thinking evil, or doing things that are rash, that are going to be could be detrimental to you, to your salvation, to the way you're looked at by brothers. Okay, so let me go ahead and type in this word instead of me just looking for it. I know it's in the book of Sirach. Just brothers, bear with me. See how I can do this. Sirach 23. Just bear with me, bro. I'm driving, man. Okay, I'm going to start at the prior verse. This is Ecclesiastes 22 and 27. It says, who shall set a watch before my mouth, and a seal of wisdom upon my lips, that I fall not suddenly by them, and that my tongue destroy me not. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and it's gonna lead me into that part as well, because everything starts in the spirit, and then it starts to manifest itself through confession, and then you're gonna start seeing yourself display certain characteristics in the flesh and actions that are not good. Okay. So it says, who shall set a watch before my mouth, and seal of my wisdom and seal of wisdom upon my lips? So your mind actually you can actually hear yourself talking or thinking. Okay. And who's gonna be the one to watch over your mouth? Okay. And a seal of wisdom upon your lips. It's gonna be Yahweh Shah, but at the same time, it takes you checking yourself, man. Or a brother's gonna check you, and if the brother checks you, you don't take heed to it. Guess what, man? You're probably not part of it, man. You know what I'm saying? There's something that's obviously wrong, that is not good, that's bitter, and that's what we all are trying to fight. We're not trying to be in that type of mode. We're all trying to be brotherly and hope the best for one another. Okay? So, it says that I fall not suddenly by them, and that my tongue destroy me not. Okay, like I said, everything starts in the spirit, in the mind, and then it starts to come through confession. It manifests itself. All right, and then eventually it's gonna start showing action. Okay, so let's go over here to Sirach 23 and 1. It says, O Lord, Father and Governor of all my whole life, leave me not to their counsels, and let me not fall by them. Okay, to your own self, man, because you are your worst enemy. It says, who will set scourges over my thoughts? You see? So who's gonna set like you have a guard that protects a building, because there's important people inside, or there's people that are vulnerable, and his duty is to protect any outside intruders. And when an intruder is spotted, what does he do? He beats them, right? But the Most High, Yahweh Shah, he gave us the answer on how to do that. Is by remembering the scriptures, remembering what the word says, man. That's how we're able to cast down strongholds. Everything that highly exalts itself against the knowledge of Yahweh Shah. And you had to take that initiative, and you had to do it, man. Instead of trying to justify yourself or always judging your brother, judge yourself, man. Take the time to judge yourself and really think, okay, what am I doing? Because before you can change a brother, you have to change yourself, man. It says, who will set scourges over my thoughts, and the discipline of wisdom over mine heart? See, you have to have discipline. Okay? And the word discipline goes back to the word disciple, which is somebody that's under tutelage, that is subject under somebody or something. Okay? You're not your own man. You can't do and say whatever you want. Okay? It don't matter how much hurt or whatever it is that you got going on. There's still a form of respect amongst brothers that are doing the work. Okay. Now, if other brothers don't want to fall in line and they want to disrespect other brothers, and that's on them. You keep doing what is obligated of you to do. Whatever you deem that is right, that's what you do, and that's what you focus on. You don't worry about anybody else, especially if you've spoken to them after the second or third time. That's how I see it. And you'll notice that there's a lot of times where there's always that number 3. There's that third time, and then after that, you're pretty much left alone, man. You know, unless it's something serious, and then it's gonna be brought to the council, and you're gonna be, you know, brought before 2 or 3 witnesses. But more or less, you know what I'm saying, you admonish or exhort a brother, you know, directly. You don't take heed to it after the 3rd time, man. Just leave it alone. You know, leave it in the Lord's hands. You know, it's different new with videos, because videos is a general release for people to learn. You know? So it says that they spare me not for my ignorances, and it pass not by my sins. See? And the one that Yahweh Shema Shai, he's going to be the one to do that. You know? Wisdom shall meet you in every thought. Alright, it says, O Lord, Father, the power of my life, give me not a proud look, but turn away from thy servant always a haughty mind. You know? That bitterness springeth up inside you, and you start becoming proud, arrogant. You want to bite the hand that feeds you. It says, turn away from me vain hopes and concupiscences, and thou shalt hold him up that is desirous always to serve thee. See? It says, let not the greediness of the belly nor lust of the flesh take hold of me, and give not over me thy servant into an impudent mind. See? And that's why brothers are always encouraging brothers, saying, don't fall into the snare of the devil. Keep doing the work. Stay humble. That's why we're always saying those words, because of this very reason right here. If you're aware that the devil is everywhere, and he's constantly on you and fucking irritating you, what are you supposed to do? Combat it with good. Not being bitter within it. You combat it with good, with the tools that Yahweh Shema Shai gave you, man. Okay? Now there's a difference between being bitter, negative, but being bitter, positive. Okay? There's a difference. Okay? There's a fine line between all these things that we know. And you have to have the ability to differentiate between these things. That's why in the book of Hebrews chapter 5, it talks about having your exercises, your senses exercised, and to be able to discern between good and evil. Okay? It says, hear, O ye children, the discipline of the mouth. He that keepeth it shall never be taken in his lips. The sinner shall be left in his foolishness. Both the evil speaker and the proud shall fall thereby. Accustom not thy mouth to swearing, neither use thyself to the naming of the Holy One. For as a servant that is continually beaten shall not be without a blue mark, so he that sweareth and nameth the Most High continually shall not be faultless. A man that useth much swearing shall be filled with iniquity, and the plague shall never depart from his house. If he shall offend, his sin shall be upon him. And if he acknowledge not his sin, he maketh a double offense. And if he swear in vain, he shall not be innocent, but his house shall be full of calamities. So you have to repent, man. Out of all that right there in verse 11, it states, if he shall and if he acknowledge not his sin. So what is that saying? That you have to acknowledge your sin. Get yourself right. Set your house in order. Okay? There is a word that is clothed about with death. God grant that it be not found in the heritage of Jacob. For all such things shall be far from the godly, and they shall not wallow in their sins. See? Use not thy mouth to intemperate swearing, for therein is the word of sin. Okay? It says, remember thy father and thy mother, where thou sittest among great men. So what does that mean? It's like, remember thy father and thy mother. So if you're amongst your father and your mother, you're going to have the most respect. Right? It says, when thou sittest among great men. So you're going to display that same characteristic. Okay? That's why it says, let brotherly love continue. And some have unawares entertained angels. Now, if a brother wants to go off at the mouth, you know, and you realize that it's not a slip of the tongue, then hey, man, that's on him, because he's offending. You know. It says, be not forgetful before them, and so thou by thy custom become a fool, and wish that thou hadst not been born, and curse the day of thy nativity. The man that is accustomed to opprobrious words will never be reformed all the days of his life. I'm gonna look up that. Well, it's not gonna let me do it. Okay, but that's it on that. Let's go ahead and go back to Jeremiah 17:9. The heart is deceitful above all things, and desperately wicked. Who can know it? I Yahweh, searcheth the heart, right, the mind. I try the reins, even to give every man according to his ways and according to the fruit of his doings. Okay, so Yahweh Shemel Shai, he is watching. He is on there, you know, and seeing what his brothers are gonna do. Okay, and he tries the reins, man. Okay, and he hears every thought. He knows every thought. But it's also up to us to discipline ourselves. Okay. To tell ourselves to shut the hell up and keep moving on, man. Alright? It's not hard, man. Let's go over here to the book of Mark, chapter 7. Let's see where it is. I believe it's, it says Mark 7:17. And when he was entered into the house from the people, his disciples asked him concerning the parable. And he saith unto them, Are ye so without understanding also? Do ye not perceive that whatsoever thing that entereth, or Salaki, that whatsoever thing from without entereth into the man, it cannot defile him, because it entereth not into his heart, but into the belly, and goeth out into the drought, purging all meats. And he said, that which cometh out of man, that defileth the man. Okay? For from within, out of the heart of men, proceed evil thoughts, adulteries, fornications, murders, thefts, covetousness, wickedness, deceit, lasciviousness, an evil eye, blasphemy, pride, foolishness. All these evil things come from within and defile the man. Okay, so I'm gonna look up that one in verse 19, the word heart, see what it says here. Cardia, right? So you get the word cardio, I believe. The outline of biblical usage. It says, let's go down. Let me see where I can find it. Right here, it says the soul or mind. As it is the fountain and seat of the thoughts, passions, desires, appetites, affections, purposes, endeavors. Okay, so that's what the word heart is, man. You know, it's your mind. It says of the understanding, the faculty and seat of the intelligence, of the will and character, all right, of the soul, so far as it is affected and stirred in a bad way or good, or of the soul as the seat of the sensibilities, affections, emotions, desires, appetites, passions. See, and it says in the letter C, of the middle or central or inmost part of anything, even though inanimate. Okay, right here, the outline or the Strong's definition. It says the heart, that is figuratively the thoughts or feelings, mind, the middle, brokenhearted. Okay, so that's what that is, man. All right, so let me go from there to the book of James. Give me 1 second. James chapter 3 verse 5. Even so the tongue is a little member, and boasteth great things. Behold, how great a matter a little fire kindleth. And the tongue is a fire, a world of iniquity. So is the tongue among our members, that it defileth the whole body, and setteth on fire the course of nature, and is set on fire of hell. Okay, so the tongue, what is its purpose? Its purpose is not only to give us the ability to say words and pronounce words, but it's also there to, you know, to give us, to have the ability to taste food. You know, when it enters our mouth, it has the ability to taste. Okay, right? So the mind also has that ability to where it can, things can enter into it, and it's tasting to see whether it's good or bad. Okay, but the tongue can also be used to utter bad things, you know, things that are not, that are profane, that are outside of the temple, you know, profanity. That's why it says that it could be a world of iniquity, or as fire. Okay, so whenever, like I said, things start in the mind, the spirit, and then they manifest themselves through confession, through actions. Okay, and it says in verse 7, for every kind of beast, and of birds, and of serpents, and of things in the sea is tamed, and hath been tamed of mankind. But the tongue can no man tame. It is an unruly evil, full of deadly poison. See? So we know this, so what do? We correct it. We fight against that and cast away these certain things, man. You know? It says, therewith bless we the Most High, even the Father, and therewith we curse men. See? It says, which are made after the similitude of the Most High, which is your brother. You know, going back to Genesis chapter 1, it says the Elohim had, you know, the Elohim had made man in their image. You know, so you got to be careful on who, what's going on, man. You know what I'm saying? Let shit go. That's what they say in the world. The bigger man just walks away. You know, he lets shit go and he continues on his journey, or whatever it is, his endeavors, his assignment, his task at hand. You know, for the sake of arguing, for the sake of, you know, of all that drama. It says, out of the same mouth proceedeth blessings and cursing. My brethren, these things ought not to be so. Or Salaki, these things ought not so to be. Okay? It said, doth a fountain send forth as the same place sweet water and bitter? Can the fig tree, my brethren, bear olive berries? Either a vine, figs? So can no fountain both yield salt water and fresh? See? So, knowing these scriptures that I just brought out should give you the ability to know what you have to do. You know what I'm saying? You have to cast away these thoughts. You have to cast away the flesh. You have to fast. You have to stop doing the things that you're used to doing. You know? It's like I forget how it's said in the world. There's a saying going referring to insanity. You're going in the same, like a mice or a rat that's running in a running wheel, and the wheel over and over and over and over again to see some type of result is insanity. Okay, when you're not seeing any results, you know. So I just want to bring these scriptures out, man. You know what I'm saying? The Most High, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, He's giving us the answers, the tools on how to, on what to stay away from and what to cast out and things of that nature. You know what? Let me end it with this. Come on, man. Let me end it with this. So, like I said, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai has given us the answers, the things that we need to do to stay on the right path, to stay in the right mind frame, you know, being brotherly, you know. This is 1 John 3:18. It says, my little children, let us not love in word, neither in tongue, but in deed and in truth. See? Because like I said, you know, there's guys are gonna just all it is just words, but they're not being what it says in deed and in truth. So they can salute you and shalom and smile, but they're not really down. You know what I'm saying? They're not really with you. They have a different agenda. You know, they, like brothers always say, guys are in this thing because they were probably nobodies in the world. They were looking for somebody to laugh with, to kick back with, or to drink and talk shit to, play video games with, but they weren't really seeking the Lord. They weren't really seeking discipline. They weren't really seeking order. They just wanted to be that guy. They wanted to be that man. The man, you know what I'm saying? They wanted to be a leader. Okay? There's different reasons why brothers are in this thing, you know, but the ultimate reason you should be in this is by way of the Spirit, you know. That's why when Peter and them were in Acts chapter 5, Gamaliel stood up again, you know, for the apostles, and it said, leave these men alone, you know, and at least you be found fighting against the Most High, and if it's of men, it will come to naught, you know. So that's what I do. I just leave shit alone. If a brother rubs me the wrong way, I leave the shit alone and let the Most High deal with it, or I just don't even think about it no more. You know, I just go on my business and leave it alone. You know, continue to be brotherly. You know. So eventually the light's gonna show. If a brother's going off, a brother is taking advantage of other brothers. You know, a brother is not, you know, being considerate. He's being selfish. It's gonna be brought to the light. Trust me. You know what I'm saying? The Most High, even if men don't see it, the Most High is going to bring it forth. He's going to judge it. Okay? That's how I see it. It says, and hereby we know that we are of the truth, and shall assure our hearts, our minds before Him. Okay? Because we're of the truth, Lord willing, So we abide in the truth. Yahweh Shai abideth in you. He'll sup with you. But you also have to take that discipline. You have to be disciplined. Okay? I'm going to go into that word, deed. The outline of biblical usage, it says business, employment, that which anyone is occupied. Okay? So you have to be about your Father's business. Go do the work. Stop the bitching, the complaining. Go do the work. Strive for the truth unto death, and Yahweh shall fight for thee. Alright? It says that which one undertakes to do. Enterprise, undertaking. So basically it's an action word. Okay? It says any product, whatever, or anything accomplished by hand, art, industry, or mind. That an act, deed, thing done. The idea of working is emphasized in, I believe that might be an opportunity to that which is less than work. Okay? So it's an act, deed, thing done. And the things that have to be done amongst brothers is charity. Being considerate. There's a lot of guys that they're not considerate. They don't consider and be like the brothers say, and I believe it's Ariella, being calculated. Not just being rash. Not just quick to jump to assumptions or assuming shit. Because that leads to being presumptuous, which is sin in itself. Okay? So, that's what that word is, man. So, deed, it says in Strong's definition, deed, doing, labor, work. And sometimes it can be laborious when a brother has to apply himself to another brother. Put work into that brother. Like I said, and some brothers, they get lazy, they get complacent, they don't want to do shit. They just want to have fun, they want to just talk shit. Talk about the things that interest them, and not considering the brother, what state they're in, or what the brother may go through, and brothers may even ask, but when it's the invitation is accepted, they don't want to further go through it any further. So experience will come, and brothers that have been of a low degree, that have gone through certain things, those brothers that overcome, they know how to comfort those type of men. Okay? Not every brother has that ability. Okay? It's easier to give us a quick answer than it is to listen and to condescend to that brother that low degree. That's harder. And that comes with experience. That comes with the ability to adapt. Like Paul had that ability. Paul had the ability to be abound and abased. And it's not just being, you know what I'm saying? It's simple. It's not just not being abound or base regarding food. You know what I'm saying? It's in every aspect of life. Okay, no matter what type of situation it may be, you're able to abound or be abased. It's not just being about food or giving up some carnal thing. It's also how you deal with brothers. It don't matter if they're of a low degree or a high degree. Okay, it's easy to deal with somebody that is of a high degree, but you're gonna know who your friends are. They tell you that in the world. The Bible talks about it as well. You're gonna know those by your afflictions and your low degree. Who comes around, who doesn't come around, who's is there who abides with you. All right, you're gonna know it. So I hope that was edifying. You know, to you brothers out there that are struggling to, you know, y'all need to overcome these things, man. You need to combat them with the words of Yahweh Shem Shai, the Comforter. That's what this is all about, man. Put on the whole armor of Yahweh Shem Shai, but you have to have faith. Faith is key to that. Key to keeping yourself standing up. All right. So with that.